Hey everybody, Hunter Dragoon X here, and we're gonna do a little bit of another coding stream today. I think this is like the sixth or seventh installment that I've started, where I am working on making a game from scratch. I was doing a game in the same style as Vampire Survivor, where you're gonna have a timer, you're gonna have enemies spawning, and you're gonna want to get weapons, level up, that sort of thing, and survive a certain amount of minutes in the stage. Uh, I did a few things off camera from the last time that I streamed. I made a few new weapons, and I did this UI element here so that we can level up in the future. Let me go ahead. I'm gonna disable this really fast, so you can see without that. And I'm gonna yeah, we'll leave it play maximize, and I'm gonna hit play here and show everybody what we got in case it's your first time here. And so I've got where my character will face the direction of the mouse, so you can aim and move separately. And as you can see, I have the sword equipped. Those of you will know I was previously using the dagger, but I decided that this character would use a sword. So those stars are your experience. As you can see, yellow bar at the bottom fills up when I get them. And you do level up once they get filled. But that level up right now has virtually no effect. What we want to do is we want to level up, and we're going to give the player an option to get some new items or upgrade their existing items, right? Um, so we're going to have to do a lot of work to set that up and make it go correctly. And yeah, that's the game. And by the way, as the time goes on, the enemies become higher and higher level. Um, that actually doesn't do anything yet either, besides determine what how much experience they drop. Eventually, I'm gonna have their stats scale with their level, so that way, um, as time goes on, the level will get harder and harder, and then well, then the harder enemies will be worth more and more experience. And then also, if you die, doesn't do anything yet, but it does stop me from controlling my player. Like I can't move, and I stop attacking. Notice there's no more slash. I still follow the cursor, as you can see. So that's probably something that I want to stop, and then yeah, and then we're gonna of course add more weapons, more enemies, some more background to this level to make it more interesting. But today we're gonna do all the level up stuff. So I built out a little window with some buttons in it. There is a hidden fourth button here. So when your luck is high enough, you will get a fourth choice. They all say dagger right now. That's just temporary text that I've typed in for the minute. And yeah, so then you're going to be able to choose an upgrade from the list of available upgrades and jump back into the level and everything like that. So we're going to need to see what items are even available for your level up. And that brought me to a realization. I did not create a level manager of any sort in here. So I'm just going to walk you guys through this really quick. I'm going to create an empty game object, and I'm just going to call it level manager. Oh, not manger, manager. Um, One thing, if you haven't watched before, is I actually don't know how to spell. I'm pretty much illiterate. I just click keys on the keyboard and hope for the best, right? So we're gonna need, go in my scripts folder, right next to my custom math. I'm gonna make a C# script for a level manager. And my level manager is gonna contain things that are relevant to the level itself. Um, which is something that I might have been able to working with the enemy spawner and stuff, but I think it might be we're just gonna keep it separate for now. Um, level manager. All right, so I think I want a public list of game objects. We're going to call this available weapons. And then a public list of game objects called available armor. So that when, because we are going to have items that aren't necessarily weapons, like things that'll increase your maximum hit points or um, your amount or your movement speed or other such stats like that. So you can kind of build um, whatever kind of play style that you want to build. And for now, I don't think we need to do anything else with this besides have those available for us. I'm gonna fill in those variables before I forget and move on to the next thing because so available weapons should be not from the scene, from the assets. The dagger, the sword, hammer, and axe. And then so now I have our 4 weapons there. And whenever a player equips a weapon, we should remove it from this list. So let's go into our player controller and our add weapon here. We are going to essentially, we need to find a reference to our level manager. And I think all battle units might need this. So right here we're finding the clock. I'm going to go public level manager. Yeah, level manager. And level manager equals find object of type. I don't know why it always wants to do by type, and if that's better or not, but no, not any. Find. Why am I in insert? My cat likes to walk on my keyboard, so sometimes it does things that I'm not expecting. That's all part of the challenge. All right, so all of our units, our enemies, our players, our 1-day summoned allies are going to know what the level manager is. And with that being said, let's go back into our player controller. And I'm just making sure everything is going in the right order here. Okay, so initialize stats is the last thing that's ran. And in the player controller, initialize stats is where the weapon's added. So it'll know what the level manager is before that, and that's very important to think about the order that these things happen, because what I want to do is in my add weapon, I want to go uh, level manager dot available weapons dot remove a weapon. So I'm going to check this in my inspector, but what should happen is when our starting weapon becomes equipped, it should no longer appear in the available weapons list. It will be an available upgrade, but that's another side of things, because we want to separate what's an upgrade from what's a new weapon. At least I do. That's the way I've thought about it. So let's hide that bad boy again. I'm just gonna play focused so that we don't got a big old window popping up, and I can kind of look at some things. So I should be able to look at my level manager here and see sword is now missing from this list. That's because I've got it equipped. So, and then we can go about our business. Anyways, that's beautiful. That's working precisely how I want it to work. Now, I'm going to need some kind of thing for the level up UI to control how this gets built, because we need to say, hey, what are these options? Where do they come from? What's all that look like? So I'm going to need a level up window controller. I don't know if I want to call it that though. And then let's see. I'm going to make this thing's start way below the camera. So that way I just when I want it to exist, we just move it up. So it's not always blocking the screen. And then we'll shoot it up into the camera view, and then you can use it, and then it'll go back down. So let's see here. UI C# script level up manager. I guess that works. I guess that's really a confusing naming convention because I have a level manager and a level up manager. Hopefully I'll remember what the difference is. But yeah, so we want to use, because this is a UI thing, using Unity Engine.ui. And I think I want a void open panel. I'm going to call it open level up panel. Let's go one step further. Let's make that public. And a public void close level up panel. Because eventually we're gonna open it, and then we're gonna do some stuff, and then we're gonna close it. And what we're gonna do is when our player levels up, I want to pause the game, so to speak, like pause everybody, and then move this window into view. So let's see here. Time scale equals 0. Everybody pauses when we open it, and then I'm gonna put it back when we close it. I may change exactly how I do the pausing, because this might not be ideal for all situations, but I don't plan on doing much with the time scale. So I think for now we're safe to do it this way. Um, but anyways, I'm going to say rect transform yeah, sure. Um, and then we're gonna let me turn this down. All right. Dot position equals vector 2 dot 0. So that should enter the center of the screen. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm just gonna test at level up. Does everything stop in this window go right into the very front of the screen? I'm not gonna test putting it back or anything like that just yet. We're just gonna go do baby steps here. Level up manager. And what I want to do is when my player controller levels up, besides getting your level increased, we are also going to call level manager dot open oh I'm sorry level up manager. Oh wait, we don't have a reference to that right now, so we're gonna need and only the player is gonna need this. So we'll do public game object level up panel. And that level up panel is going to we need to find it first. So just like our equipment panel, we're going to go level up panel equals find object of type level up manager dot game object. You know, actually, maybe I can just do it as a level up manager and take the dot game object off. Because all I really want to do is level up manager or level up panel dot open level up panel. So now when the player starts, the player finds that window, and when the player levels up, the player should bring that level or bring that panel into the field of view. So let's see how this goes. Let's kill some dudes here. Get my 10 experience that I need to get to level 1. Or, I'm sorry, level 2. You start at level 1. And sometimes if you notice my experience jump a little bit more than you think it should, that is because there's a thing that's happening where sometimes two will spawn on the same frame. And so yes, this kind of worked. The thing I neglected to mention is that the 0, 0 for screen space is in this bottom corner and not the center of the screen. So this thing is actually not exactly what we typed in. So what we need to do really is look at what this center of the screen is going to be. And I think our reference screen size is 800 by 600, so I should be able to go new vector 3 400 by 300 by 0, and when we go back, it's just a matter of making this like negative 600. And that should be better. It might not be, because I'll admit sometimes I feel like the UI system's a little cuckoo, and it's probably just because going back and forth from the game space coordinates to the UI coordinates can be a little disorienting for me. So let's pick up some experience, see what happens. Hopefully I can get my slash to hit a couple guys. Okay. This is better. I need my Y to be a little bit lower, but it does. No, I'm not exactly centered. Huh. I wonder what corner of the object it's trying to move. And maybe we let's see here. Why wouldn't we just Is it trying to move by pixels or by unit? That's a good question. And is it trying to align up to like the main camera space? Which is going to be different. That's some of the challenges you face inevitably when dealing with UI stuff in Unity, because it's not super straightforward. Like I would think, all right, I could just set my position, this vector 3 right here, and it would just go to whatever that is, but it doesn't like snap to the middle center anymore. It just goes to a raw direction. You know, I wonder if there's a Is there a local position? Yeah, local position. All right, hell yeah. That might just be better. So with local position, I am gonna try uh, vector 3.0 again. And then on this, I'm gonna just do that. And we're gonna see if maybe the boo-boo was me not knowing to use a local position as opposed to position. All right, here we go. Now, if I was smart, I would have upped the amount of experience the enemies dropped, or lowered the amount of. Well, that was a lot. That looked like it was almost 3. Or lowered the amount of experience you need to level up, but you know, I'm not smart. Oh my god, it's perfect. The clock stopped. Nobody's hurting me. Whatever. You can see the experience is right there at 0. Now we can work on telling these buttons what they are. So we're gonna have to decide. Well, is it an upgrade or is it a new item? So I think the level up manager is going to need its own list. Available upgrade. This is a list of game objects and available upgrades. And what we're going to do is when we open the panel, we're going to fill this list. We're going to have access to our level manager. And when we start, we're going to set the level manager equal to find object by type level manager. And we're going to say available upgrades dot add range level manager dot available weapons. Available upgrades dot add range for the we'll do it for the armor too. I'm thinking. Ooh. You know, later remind me. I want to check if player already has 6 weapons or armor. Because if they already have 6, then we don't want them to get any new weapons. We want to pull that from the list of available choices. But for now, we're going to dump in anything that's available. And then what we want to do is also look at what the player already has equip. So we're going to need a reference to our player controller player. Whatever, who cares? Not get component. Yeah, silly goose. Find object of type player controller. So what we want to do is check that current weapons and armor are not at max upgrade. Right now they don't even upgrade, so not even anything to worry about. But we want to go available upgrades dot add range player dot weapons available upgrades dot add range player dot I haven't added a list for the player's armor yet, so we'll just do this armor. Even though some of it's like some of the items will be like accessories and stuff, but basically I'll leave that there for when it's ready. I'm just gonna call it armor, even though it's not always exclusively armor. So now we need to set the this is a lot actually. So I think I want to do void get available upgrades, and we're gonna grab all of this, stick it in here, and say get available upgrades. And at the end of this, when we close our window, I want to clear this list so that every time if you pick up an item, if you level up again, you have a new fresh list of upgrades in case anything changes. Maybe you get cursed and you lose an equipment slot. I don't know. That's a possible game mechanic, but I haven't really decided that yet. But hypothetically, we want to have that flexibility that this is always going to be a fresh list of the most accurate information. So every time I level up, I want to open this panel and get the correct information. Now we want to set the buttons to their correct values. So we want to set. Well, first of all, let's put a void here. What do I want to call this? Set buttons set level up button values. And so what we're going to do here is we're going to decide we're gonna set one, we're gonna remove that from the list, and then we're gonna set another one, and we're gonna go until we have all of them filled out. So we need to know our upgrade buttons. These I'm gonna make public game object. So we're gonna make it an array because there's always gonna be 4 buttons. I may hide buttons, right? Like I may by default hide one and let you unlock it by having high luck. But what I'm gonna do is have it hidden from the player's view at first, just like I have it hidden here. And so let's go into here. Let's go into our upgrade buttons. Let's make the length 4. Let's rename these because that's choice 2. That's choice 3. And really, if I wanted to be as matchy as possible, I would have started counting as 0. Uh, but sometimes I don't really care where I start counting at because um, you could tell me to start counting from 23, and as long as I remember where the point, like my origin point is, I can always know how many what's my magnitude from the origin in that sort of way. So sorry if I'm confusing anybody, but element 0 is button choice 1, and element 1 is button choice 2. Um, and that's just how arrays a lot of times work in most programming languages. Um, so yeah, if you have any more questions about arrays or data structures in general, feel free to ask them. But just understand for now that that's what I mean. All right, so these buttons really uh, aren't doing too much, but they have two things. They have a text description and an image. Now, our weapon script, if I can find it, I think I called it base weapon. Actually, let's go back further to equipable item because that's where the icon lives, and both weapons and armor are going to do this. So let's do a public uh, string item. Oh, item names actually really good because they're all going to have names. And I would like it if name lived at the very top of the stack. Public string item description. And then I'm going to do another public string for the item or for the upgrade description. And as you can see here, I have a function already. It's empty, but an on upgrade function. So, and it's virtual. So when our dagger levels up, it'll do something different than when our sword levels up. For right now, I'm not going to put any code into that area. We're just going to see if these buttons populate correctly. Another thing I probably need in my, well, all right, I've got the UI here. You know what I didn't think about though is I think I need the Text Mesh Pro in here because all the text uh, in this new version of Unity, all the text is Text Mesh Pro text. You can't. The old text, I'm pretty sure they're done with that. So you can use the standard text if you use an older version of Unity. I like Text Mesh Pro for some things, like being able to add like sprites as icons in the middle of your text. Um, but I didn't find that it was always necessary to have something as elaborate and in depth as this. Sometimes I felt that the basic text was enough, and I liked having the option for both. But now things are a little bit more uniform by only having one option. So, here we are. Things change. And that's kind of the thing is that as these products, as these game engines mature and become more complex, you will see newer products arise that are inevitably more simplistic and easy to use. Like a lot of people love Godot. I think it's a really cool engine. Uh, it is definitely easier to use than Unity in a lot of respects. And I think what is happening is essentially Unity uh, is now bloated, and anybody in the game dev community can tell you that it's had its problems for a while, even before that big PR thing where they started talking about taking a cut of downloads, which a side of that nobody talked about is when everybody says, "Hey, these free games that don't make any money, you're gonna take all money from them that they're not making." That seems pretty cruel and unusual. Well, most of those free games are shovelware. They're crammed with ads. They're crammed with microtransactions. They're everything that gamers complain about. So, not that I love Unity or I'm trying to like gas them up or anything, but I think there is another side to this story um, that not everybody was looking at or talking about. Um, so just something to think about, just being like from a completely neutral stance. Anyways, I need this item description to change, and I need this icon to change. So let's go. All right, so I got my upgrade buttons here, and then I'm gonna say for do a well I is less than upgrade buttons dot length. The thing is, I know this is probably always going to be 4. I don't think I'm going to go back and change my mind later, but setting it to the length does make it so that if down the road I wanted to give you 5 instead, or cut it down to only 3 or whatever, you have that available. You know what I mean? So let's see. Upgrade buttons I dot get component in children text mesh pro UGY dot text is going to equal available upgrades. Ooh, we got to choose an upgrade first, actually. We did not choose an upgrade yet. So let's pick an index for a chosen upgrade. Int chosen upgrade equals random dot range from 0 to available upgrades dot count. So now we're going to have from 0 to the final index in that array, and we're going to say it's going to equal available upgrades dot chosen upgrade, and we need to get the component for the actual description of the item. So we're going to get the equipable item, because at this point it could be a weapon or an armor. Yeah, dot name. And then I want to go add in a line break, and then this is getting very verbose, and I don't know if I love exactly how verbose this is getting. So I'm actually gonna say here, equipable item upgrade item is going to equal this. And then we can just go upgrade item dot name, line break, upgrade item dot description. Oh, it's item description, which reminds me it's item name, not name, because name will just give you the literal name of the object. And sometimes if it's instantiated, it'll have a like an instantiation, like a little timestamp number under it, so that it's like a unique identifier if there's more than one of the same thing out there. So that's something we got to keep in mind there. And then now I want to go upgrade button, get component in children. And then I want to get that image. And what I want to do is set that image sprite equal to the upgrade item dot item icon. And then once that's done, I want to remove the thing that we just added into the button. I want to remove that out. There is also something that I want to do in here where apply event to button, and that's something that I'm gonna look at a little bit later. But first, we're gonna make sure that these buttons all come through okay. I think it's gonna break on the last button because there's not gonna be anything in there. So I might just go if, oh, what the heck did my internet just break? I don't know. Anyways, yep, this is why my VODs are choppy, because sometimes the internet just does weird things. So if available upgrades dot count equals equals 0, we're gonna just return. Obviously, I want to what do you mean game object? Oh, it's not an assignment. I'm sorry. Equals. Yeah. So we may see the last button, the fourth button, might not look correct. Actually, no. I've got exactly 4 weapons. So one should be each weapon. They just might be in a randomized order. But let's go ahead and see what happens now. All right. Ooh. All right. Looks like it returned from all of them. But Okay, so it's saying object reference is not set to an instant of an object. The level up manager line 47 is saying the level manager isn't an object. Did I not put... Oh, yeah, level manager script is here, but it didn't... see it for some reason. Huh. That's a little peculiar. I think that it should like right on start. All right, I'm gonna pause that and say, all right, my level manager is right here. The player had no problem finding it. So my level up manager right here. Let's put this in the debug mode. And I can see here the level manager. Okay, it has found the level manager. So this error is one step deeper than that. Let's try and go again, because maybe I missed something. All right, let's pause that. So that's being called from there, which is being called from the player controller, which is being called from there, which is check for level up. Get available upgrades is not. Is it the armor? Because that nothing has been put into that list yet, so maybe it's saying, "Oh, there's nothing in that list. Why am I adding it?" That's a perfectly reasonable reason to freak out for a computer, I think. All right, let's try this again. Nope. It's still freaking out about the available weapons. Now, level manager, available weapons right here. All right. Well, this is something that I might have to look into a little bit more deeply. We are almost at an hour here, so I think I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up this stream. Anybody who is lurking, thank you for watching. I really appreciate it, and hopefully I'll be able to show you what my solution was next time I get back. Have a great day.